Hi guys, welcome. First of all, let me know if you can hear me well. Today live session would be about Strapi Headless CMS. For those who don't know, Strapi is really cool headless CMS, which is open source, totally free, and written in JavaScript. And today I will try to implement some backend endpoints that let us create a very, very simple paywall. So here we have already some administration panel that I created with the Strapi. Strapi has a really nice content type builder that lets you create models and automatically creates some endpoints for these models. So for instance, we have for today live session, order would be one of the models that are useful for creating paywalls. So user can create order, and this order can contain some order items. So for instance, if somebody will come to our page, then it would be possible to order some ebooks from this app. So this is Strapi. If you have some questions about it, of course, let me know on chat. Then also let me know if you can hear me, if the sound is okay and the resolution, and then I think we can start. So in the background, I have Strapi up and running. I'm just running it with the Strapi develop function. And then in the background, I have development server, a development instance of Strapi that listens to every change I do in the code. And of course, here we have the admin panel. So let me refresh it. Okay, it remembers my session, and yeah, and I will show you how these models are working so far, because we have model called order, we have status of the order, we have some timestamps, so we can see when the order was created, what is the payment method. We have Stripe or Ethereum if cryptocurrency. We have also some field where we can provide a transaction or a payment transaction ID. And this model called order can have relation to the order items. And order items is another model. And here you can see that we have quantity. So for instance, if somebody orders one copy of the ebook, then the quantity is 1. If somebody orders, I don't know, 5 copies, then quantity is 5. Here we have price, and price is in cents. So this is 49 zlotys. And we have currency. And of course, we have the relation to the order, right? So order can have many order items, and order item belongs only to one order. And the second relation that we have here is that order item belongs to product. So we have the relation to product, and product is, for instance, ebook. So we have ebook, which is called come buy it. Maybe I will fix this. I will create new product. So as you can see, Strapi is quite cool because we can use the content type builder, and we have this administration panel for free. So there is no need to code anything to get this panel here. And now we can create a new product inside database. So I will call it, here we have description. So here's a description of my great ebook, short description. This is ebook Here we can upload a cover to this product. Let's use this cover from my previous live stream. Then we have price currency. Let's use maybe US dollars, because today session is in English, as you can see. For those people who are wondering why I'm using English, it's some kind of challenge for me to be more fluent in foreign languages. And of course, I will publish on this YouTube channel some more Polish content, but from time to time, I will be streaming in English. Okay, so we have price in cents. Let's keep this ebook cheap. It would be 10 US dollars. Then the type of the product is ebook. We can call it premium ebook. Here we have some Slack. This is all stuff like that, like this Slack or type of the model. It's everything that you can do with the content type builder in the Strapi. So maybe later, if I would need some new content type, I will show you how this works. But it's really simple. It's basically like using WordPress or something. So here we have a type. Type is ebook, and of course, if somebody buys ebook from me, then I want to let such customer to download attachment. So here I will upload some file. So I'm not sure what I can upload here. Maybe let's look for some PDF. Okay, what is it? Okay, this would be the review of some MMO game. Okay, I will upload it, finish, and now we have attachment uploaded for this file. I will save it. And let's see. Okay, so we have a product with ID 2. And now let's create a new order using Postman. For those who don't know, Postman is a great tool that, oh, let me put it here. So it's a tool that lets us simulate some calls to the some HTTP calls. So for instance, here we have the URL of my Strapi instance, and all I can do from here is call some endpoints and simulate some payloads. So if we have a React or Angular application, of course, people on the front end are filling out some forms. They have a payload, and this payload is sent to the backend, to the orders endpoint. And here I will use Postman basically to simulate and to check if my endpoints are working correctly. So let's try first the endpoint /products. So this endpoint /products, as you can see, returns all products that I have inside Strapi. And as you can see, I have here just one product, and the reason for that is that Strapi by default has a state, and this particular item has state draft, and the endpoint is not returning draft records. So now we have to click publish, and then the endpoint should return this second product. So let's call it again. And here you can see that we have a record of this product returned from this endpoint. So for instance, right now we can develop some React or Angular or jQuery or whatever application. We can just call this endpoint, and then we get the list of all products. And this endpoint is public endpoint, so anybody can call it. You don't have to be logged in. It just returns products for you. And now we want to create an order. So as you can see, I created a payload here, and I'm sending two attributes. One is payment method. So as a user, I can provide what kind of payment method I want to use. Here we have Stripe, we can have, I don't know, PayPal or whatever. This is just something that our backend has to recognize. Maybe I will enlarge it a bit so you can see it better. And then I'm providing also the second attributes is array of products that I want to order. So for instance, if somebody wants to order the ebook with ID 2, then we have to send the payload with the product ID 2 and of course quantity, how much copies we want to order. And this endpoint already works inside my Strapi, and I had to customize it. And to customize endpoints in Strapi, all you have to do is go to the folder which is called the same as your model. Sorry. So we have a model called order, and by default, some of these files are generated if you create a new type inside the Strapi. And if you want to customize some of the endpoints, like I did here with the create function, then all we have to do is just override the function in this file. So for instance, I will show you some other model, and here you can see that I haven't customized it yet. It's just a default implementation from Strapi, so nothing fancy here. But if you want to add some custom implementation, if you want to do something which Strapi doesn't support by default, then all you have to do is just override the function. And here is what I did. First of all, this endpoint to create orders can be called only by logged in users. So as you can see here, I need to send an authorization token. And if this authorization token is wrong, I will type here 2x and I will send the call. Then you can see that Strapi returns unauthorized header, and the message is invalid token. And for instance, if I will fix it, so I will remove these two x's, two characters, and save it, then I think this token is valid. So now you can see that I'm able to send the payload. So this is some kind of simulation that I'm ordering the product with product ID 2. And let's see what happened inside the Strapi. So first of all, we have a new order. So if we go here, you can see that last update was a few seconds ago. So it's a very new order that I just created by calling the endpoint from Postman. And here we can see that we have two order items. And yeah, so let's check this order. Okay, so I have some modifications. I don't know why, but okay, we have order item, and as we can click here, you can see that this order item belongs to order with ID 13. Of course, we can customize Strapi to show this bit better inside the admin panel, because here is just ID. We can extract, I don't know, the user name or just give it some more meaningful name, but this is all default how the content type builder works. So as you can see, we just created order item, and somebody ordered one copy of the ebook. And this is exactly what I implemented here. So whenever somebody calls this endpoint, then we have a create function, which is executed. And then inside we are taking a context state .user.id. And this is something which is populated by Strapi if somebody provides a valid JWT token. So basically, this token that I'm having here allows Strapi to know that I'm the user with ID 16. And of course, to get this WT token, all we have to do is call the endpoint. So we have a endpoint called login. Here you can see my email and my beautiful password. And if I send this payload, then you can see that in return, I'm getting a JWT token. And this is the token that I have to use whenever I want to do the call for authenticated user. So this is so then I'm just assigning to the body of the request information about the user. Then I want that every new order that I create have an initialized status. So I'm also setting up this here. And then I'm calling default service that lets me to create order. So strapi.services.order.create, and then I'm passing all the params that are coming from the request. Of course, I know this is not 100% secure, because somebody can pass some parameters inside the body that I don't want to have in the database, or somebody can, I don't know, try to do something shady. But this is very simple implementation just for educational purposes. So you have to just believe me that I'm not coding in such way on production. It's just to simplify this code so everybody understands what happens here. And then we have a promise all. And the reason why we have the promise all is that the reason why we have the promise all here is that I'm iterating over the products that somebody submits in the payload. Because as you can see, here I'm passing inside the JSON the array. So if somebody wants to order 2 products, then of course we can have a situation like that. So the product payload is an array, and then inside the controller, I'm iterating over each product. And first of all, I'm querying my database. So I'm writing Strapi dot query, and I want to find a product model, and then I'm calling find one method and passing the ID of this product that somebody submitted over the API call. And once I have this product, then I'm creating order item. And inside, and this order item is another model that holds information about what somebody ordered within the order. So we have the product ID, then I'm copying over the price. Of course, some of you may ask, hey, Arthur, why you have a duplication of the data, why the price sense is on the product model, and why you have it again on the order item. And I decided to have this duplication on purpose, because somebody can order the ebook today, and the price is $10. But then after, I don't know, 3 months, if the ebook would be, I don't know, bestseller or something, I can raise the price by $2 or $3 or whatever. And then I have a historical records that are showing to me what was the price while somebody bought this particular item, because you have to understand that the product price can change over time. However, ordered item shouldn't change over time. We should have it for historical records. So we know that somebody ordered ebook and had to pay for it $10. And then, of course, we are passing the order ID because we want to have a relation to the order. And then we have also a quantity, which is, of course, the parameter that comes from the payload. And do you guys have any questions so far to what I said to you? If yes, chat is yours. Here is a first question from Mikołaj. Do we need add git ignore API key when sending commits? So I think it's a general question. It's not a question to what I shown so far, because the API key that we are using for calling the API, of course, we cannot commit it anywhere. It's just it's some kind of session for the user, right? So this token has to be in memory, it has to be inside the cookie or somewhere where it's secure. So for sure, this token represents the session of the user, and we are not committing it anywhere. However, if you are just generally asking about API keys, I think the best way to handle such API keys inside your project is to use environment variables. So you, for instance, if you have a Google Map API key, then inside your code you are using environment variable, and then everybody who uses your project or deploys your project to the servers, then they have to specify this environment variables. So inside the code, all you are committing is an environment variable, but you never commit the exact value of this environment variable, because it can be changed over time. It can be different for each machine, for each developer. So I think it's the best practice to do it that way. So if you guys have some other questions about Strapi, I would be happy to answer. But in the meantime, we have to implement some new functionality, because as you can see, all I'm doing as a user is that I can create the order. Okay, so I can send the items to the backend which I want to order. And now I would like to, first of all, have an endpoint which will return all orders that I did as a logged in user. So I want to have another endpoint, which would be not a post method, but it would be a get method. And I want to get all orders that I did. And inside the code, I want to check, of course, this token, and I want to return only orders that were made by this user. So I don't want endpoint which returns all orders that were created, because this is something that, first of all, we don't have to implement this because we already have this inside the administration panel. However, now we want to create some kind of publicly available endpoint, but this endpoint should expose only orders for specific user. So we'll go to the documentation, of our Strapi, and here we want to go to the concept of controllers. And so we have the custom controller. Okay, I need to customization. Where was it? I don't remember, because it was a really good explanation. So maybe it was a really good explanation how to do it here. Yeah, maybe here. No. Yeah, so because just a quick explanation what I want to do. So by default, Strapi lets you use some endpoints that are working by default, right? So you have the content type, and you can get the list of these entries. You can get specific entry. You can get count of these entries. However, this will work very simple way, that it will just return all the entries. However, I don't want to return all the entries. I just want to I just want to return entries that belongs to the currently logged in user. So that's why now we have to customize these endpoints. And yeah, here we have examples how this works with the default implementation. And now we just need to, I want to show you this in documentation, how we can achieve it. Because to be honest, I don't remember how to do it. And yes, so, okay. So this is an index. Okay, the name was index. Okay, now I will remember. So we have async create, then we have the async index, and of course here we want to return all the entries that were created for the certain user. So for sure we're gonna need some query, and what we want to find is actually not product, but this time we want to query for the order. And we don't want to find one product, one order. We want to find many, yeah, probably. And this would be called, of course, orders. And right now, all we have to do is return orders, and we will see if it works. Of course, this is right now very naive implementation, so we are not doing any filtering, any querying. We just want to return all the orders, and I will save it. And let's go to our Strapi panel, and let's see if the authenticated user can call this specific method here. Because of course, once we create a new content type, by default, everything is unavailable for public calling. So we have to go to the settings, or no, plugins, and here we have roles and permissions. No, where was it? Okay, so it was roles. Here we have roles, and the role is authenticated. And here we can specify what is possible for authenticated users. And here we can see that we have model called order, and here we can let users call index endpoint. Because right now, if I will go to the Postman and let me save it. Let me save, or maybe duplicate. And here we have get, and this would be named index. And of course, we are passing here the token. The body, of course, is none, because this time we are not sending any payload, and we are calling orders. Then we are getting error, which is forbidden. And let's right now allow us to find. Okay, we will save it. And already somebody on the chat told me that it's not find many, it's find method. All right. So in the meantime, maybe let's check the documentation of the models, so we are sure how this all works. And yeah, model, it's example. Here we have the relations. And here we have And yeah, so it's find Strapi services find. Okay. So even we can maybe even better, we can use not query, we will use the services. So it will be find. And here we are not passing anything. Let's save it. And now we'll try to call the endpoint again. And so far we have an error. Okay. And here we can see that it returns all orders. Just to maybe prove you that it returns all orders, I will change the order, the user for one of the orders, so we can see that we have all orders even for not logged in user. So let's go to the admin panel, and here we have this first order, and I will change the user here to some other guy, and let's call it again. Yeah, so here you can see that the first order right now belongs to the user ID 14, and the second order belongs to user 16. And we are calling this endpoint as a user with ID 16. So it would be good that we can fix this endpoint so it returns only the stuff that we want for this particular user. So let's go to the documentation, and it was somewhere, I think, guides. It was create is owner policy, right? Maybe. Yeah. So we have create. And here we want to provide some query to provide what kind of ID should be for the user. So here, of course, we are not passing an ID, and here we need to pass an ID of the user, not record itself. So it would be user's permissions user. And here we will provide the context state user ID. And let's see if this works. Sorry, we have to do it here. And of course, it doesn't work. So it still returns all the orders. And why this? So we have defined and user permissions, user ID. We are providing here context, which is a state of with this user ID, and we are returning all orders. So maybe first I will also provide ID just to check. Maybe it's something wrong with that. For some reason, this function is not called. And maybe let's also do it index here. Console log is the best debugging tool. And yeah, let's call it. Yeah, so for some reason, this action is not called. So because we should see in here index get orders. Yeah, so right now I tried to customize this specific endpoint, and for some reason it still calls the default implementation, because otherwise we should see here the console log. So something is wrong with this index. I don't know why. Let's maybe check the documentation again. So okay, so maybe the name of it is actually find, not index. Right. Because this is about custom so core controllers, and then we have find one, and this retrieve errors. Okay, so we name it find, not index, and let's check the server again, and let's call it. Okay, so now we are here. So the name of the function is not index, is find. All right, my bad. And let's see. Okay, and now I think it worked, right? Because we have just one order. As you can see, previously we had a call, and this call was returning two orders, and now we are filtering these orders. That orders are just returned for this currently logged in user. All right, so far so good. We only need to do one more thing, because as you can see, I'm just returning immediately the orders. So I'm fetching them from the database, and immediately I'm returning them to the user. And you never should do this that way inside the Strapi, because you have to sanitize each entity. And this sanitize entity and entity function basically make sure that you are not returning any confidential data to your users. So for instance, if you have the order, you can have some internal ID that you don't want to reveal to the users. It can be some secret, it can be something, I don't know, which you are using for your internal invoicing system. So then inside order models, then you can, so where was it? Actually, I need to open it that way. Yeah, so then you can provide some private attributes. And I provided this, for instance, for product. And for product, where was it? So private. Yeah, you have private attributes. And for instance, you want to hide attachment from the public view. And that's why you cannot just simply return what Strapi service is returning to you. You have to sanitize it. And we will sanitize it exactly how it's here. So I will copy over, and we will map over the orders. So we have orders, and then we have sanitized entity, and the model is Strapi and dot order. So then this function knows that what we want to sanitize is one of the orders that we just returned, and the type of the model that we want to sanitize, it's actually order. So now we should be safe, at least more safe, and this will return the sanitized array of the orders. Let's see if it works. And yeah, and as you can see, still it works. And okay, so we have two endpoints. One endpoint let the currently logged in user to create new order and specify which products we want to buy. We have also the endpoint that lets us to find specific order. And now I think the last thing I want to do here in this file is provide an option to update the order payment ID. So I need this endpoint because in future live coding sessions, I want to show you how to collect payments using Ethereum cryptocurrency. So then we can pay for the ebook using our cryptocurrency wallet, and in return we will receive the ID of the transaction. And right now I want to provide to all the users that ordered something endpoint that lets update the order transaction ID by the current user. So current user, first of all, can fetch all his orders and can update the transaction ID for his orders. And this is very important, that user can only update owned orders and only can update specific attributes, because we certainly don't want user to update the status of the order, because then some sneaky hacker can call the endpoint and just provide their the status equal to paid. So we don't want to do that. What we want to do is just let a user to update the payment method and payment transaction ID. Because user once create order, then he can see, okay, I have $10 to pay and I want to use a cryptocurrency wallet. I want to send some money from cryptocurrency wallet. So I want to update the payment method and I want to send over the transaction ID. So right now we will customize this endpoint again, but now we need to do endpoint for update. So here the endpoint is called update. Of course, we need to provide ID, so it would be like that. So we have a context, and we will provide in the payload the ID of the offer that we want to update. And of course, we will take 2 parameters from the body. So first of all, how to do it the best. Okay, so we will have a context request body, and you want to take from here payment, what is the name of it? Payment method and payment method transaction ID. Okay. So this is something we want to take out of the request body. So right now we are preparing what we need. Another thing we need is also user ID. And yeah, this will take from the state. And okay, so now we want to find an order. So for finding, we'll use this time find one. So it would be find one. And of course, the user has to be user ID, right? And the ID is basically ID, right? So this is shortcut for this, right? So this comes from context params. We'll send it over the query strings. If you guys have any questions to what I'm saying to you, or just let me know if that makes sense, or if this live coding session makes any sense to you, or I should, I don't know, stop or something. So we have ID, payment method, payment transaction ID, and user ID of currently logged in user. And what we are doing here is we are searching for certain order. And what we want to do here is, okay, I fucked up here. And we want to update this order. And to update this order, as you can see, we are passing the ID to, oh no, actually, okay, so we can do the shortcut, because I did the find one, but what we can do is we can specify the parameters of what we want to update. And Oh, yeah, this is very good tip from Nikolai. I will drink. Just water. And okay, so we'll use basically the service for updating. So we can provide the parameters to probably locate the record we want to update, and the second parameter is what we want to update there. So let's try it out. So I will copy it over, and okay, so this is this would be entirety, and here is the ID, and another parameter that I will provide is here. And okay, it's a bit too long. All right. I don't have any pred here configured, so it looks ugly. Maybe I will add this in next live coding session. And then we want to update this just to attributes, payment method and payment method transaction. So this we are passing here, and okay, I don't know, maybe it's okay. It looks kind of okay. So I will save it. And of course, we need to remember that we want to sanitize the entirety because we don't want to return any data that is private. And this is, of course, order. This one here we can remove. Here it's called order, order. Okay. Yeah, so maybe it will work. So let's go to the Postman, and we'll duplicate this thing here. And of course, we want to put, right? Because if we want to create something, then we are sending post. If we want to update, we are sending put. And we'll call it update. And here, this time, we need to provide as well the ID of the order that we want to update. So it will be 13. All right. And here we have, again, our authorization token. We have our body, which, of course, it's not okay yet. And we want to send here payment methods. And let's use, I don't know, maybe Stripe. All right. So, and here we have payment methods X, and okay, we'll provide that way. Let's save it. And of course, we will get an error because, as I told you, by default, all endpoints are disabled. So we have on purpose just open them in the Strapi. And or maybe I'm getting other error. Let's see what happens there. Okay, it's missing here. So just syntax error. Let's wait for server to be up and running again. Okay, cheers, guys. All right. So now, okay, the server is up and running, and let's try to update the order. Okay, and as I told you, we are not allowed to do so. It's forbidden. So let's try again to enable this endpoint inside this Strapi. So we have to go to plugins, to settings, roles, authenticated, And then we have here an order, and what we want to do is allow the update. So let's save it, and let's try the Postman shoot again. And now we have errors, so we fucked up something, or I did. So missing clause entry for table users permission user. So it doesn't work that way. And so I'm not sure what this error means, but let's try first just with the ID. Of course, this is not enough. We need to add this check that we are updating not only by ID, but also we are checking this for currently logged in user. So let's try it again. Okay, so as you can see, for just providing ID, it works. But now we have to check the documentation, how to work with this update method in the way that we can provide some additional checks, that we don't only want to update an order with this particular ID, but we want to combine it with ID and user ID. So let's head over to documentation, and maybe let's check services. So we have services, and we have update. Okay, so this is implementation of update. So we have params, we have data, we have files. Okay, but I didn't get why, because for me params sounds like I should be able to provide there more parameters. Okay, so maybe why it doesn't work that way. So the order users permissions user ID. So for find it works, but it doesn't work for this update. All right, I think it's a time for another console log. Sorry about that, but we need to make sure that the user ID is present here. And yeah, let's clear the server and let's try again. All right. So the order is 13. User permissions user. Huh. Why it doesn't work? Why it doesn't work? So let's check the order model. All right. So maybe we just need to provide it like that. So it's not. So maybe let's provide it that way. Save it, remove it. Console log is not longer needed. Let's save it and let's try it again. All right, and then we need to try again to put this. Okay, so looks like it doesn't take it the same way as find does. So find for some reason works with such relation, but update doesn't. Okay, but let's check if it works at all, right? Because we have the order ID 13. 13 belongs to this logged in user, and I think the order 12 isn't. So we should check if we are not able to update the payment method for other people order. So I will provide here 12, and let's see, it should rise an ugly error. Yeah, it's not found. Maybe it's not perfect that we should get something like unauthorized or stuff like that, but okay, we are getting a not found error because obviously we are logged in as a user ID 16. And what we do in this update call, we are searching for ID 12, which is passed here. And the currently logged in user is 16. And of course, we don't have such error. So, all right, let's use it again. So for orders 13, it works perfectly. So now I think it would be good. So we can add maybe. All right. So we have endpoint that returns all orders that exist for currently logged in user. We have also method that lets us update the status, the transaction ID of the payment and the payment method. So user can choose the payment method and update the transaction ID. So if somebody on the front end used the cryptocurrency wallet or some API like Stripe or whatever, then it's possible to update your very own order. So now I think would be great to return ebooks to to the person who paid for his order. So right now I want to create an endpoint which will return an URL to the ebook only if somebody paid for his order. So we have some kind of paywall here, right? So we have endpoint that lets me create an order. I'm sending the payload to create an order. Then I'm doing some payments, and I can update my order with the payment. And then administrator manually or some script can validate if this transaction was paid. And if was paid, then the script or administrator can change the status of the order so the user can upload the very specific ebook. So we'll do this by customization of controller again, but this time we will customize the find one. So again, we'll do the same thing we did last time. So we want to find, first of all, the order, and we are providing here ID and of course the user ID. So what we want to do here is provide this another parameter, and we will return the order to the user. And right now, of course, it will be nothing fancy. We are just returning the order, but in the minute we will try to include the order items and the product itself that was ordered by the user. So right now we have just find one, and again we will test it here. So we'll maybe duplicate this. We'll rename it. For show, and here we provide the orders ID. This will raise an error because we have to enable this specific field, method. So we have an order and we want to allow authenticated user to find an order. So let's save it. And again, let's call the endpoint. All right. So you can see that we are returning the ID. The status is initialized, right? And we have some order items. We can see that somebody ordered the ebook, and the ebook has ID 2, quantities 1, order ID. Okay, we have all information. But if the status is paid, we want to return something extra. So first of all, I will try to add something to the entity. So maybe let's mutate it and let's write it something like attachments. And let's see what will happen, because I want to populate the array with the URLs that lets user to download the ebook, and I want to populate this array only if somebody paid for his order. So I'm not sure it will work, but let's try it out. Okay, so the attachments is empty. And now let's focus on writing some simple implementation that will check the status. And if the status is paid, then we will return some attachments. And for this particular case, it would be URL to the ebook that somebody paid for. Okay, so of course, status is something that can be changed only by a system or the administrator. It's not an argument that user can update calling from the React, or anybody who is not administrator can change. And in the future live coding session, of course, we will integrate this logic with Stripe or cryptocurrency wallet or whatever payment we want. But today we will just do it manually. So whenever the status is paid, then we will populate the attachments with the URL to the ebook. So right now, I will check, and if entity status equals to paid, and we want to return the attachments, URL to ebook, else entity attachments is an empty array. So far, I think it's very straightforward. Okay, the server is restarted. We are checking again. As you can see, the attachments is still empty. And let's go to our administration panel. And let's say I'm working for this e-commerce store, right? I'm the guy who's checking if somebody paid for the order. And I check, okay, So the payment method transaction ID is test123. I can call the bank and ask, hey guys, is this payment successful? And they can tell me, all right, yeah, everything's fine. Mark this order as paid. So I will mark it as paid. I will save it. And of course, right now, it's a very naive implementation that I had to do it manually. But of course, it's very easy to do it programmatically, that we can check the ID on Stripe. We can call the Stripe API. We can prepare the webhook URL that is called by Stripe whenever somebody pays. We can do this in various many ways. However, right now we will just do it manually. So we change the status of order 13 to paid. So right now, this if statement should be true. So the entity attachments should be populated with that. Of course, right now it's not a usable URL, right? It's not something that somebody can use, but let's try it out. Okay, so you can see that the array works. So we have this check working, and right now we can get all the product that were ordered by the user, and we can return the download URL. So because previously I prepared the products model, right? And inside this model, you can see that I have cover, I have price, I have attachment. And what we want to do is get these attachments and just return them to the user so they can download it. And let's do it, how to do it simply. So we have order items. So we need to iterate over each order item. Then we have to fetch the product, and then we should return the attachment attribute. So, okay, so let's close it. So I will maybe do it very similarly as we had with this promise all. So I will copy it because we'll reuse some of it. So maybe we'll create just a function called, I don't know, get attachments. It will be asynchronous function. And here we will provide the order. What we can provide here, the best would be maybe the array of order items IDs, right? Because we want to get the attachment for each order item ID. So we'll provide it order item IDs, right? And I will just maybe copy it for the moment. And we want to iterate over each order item ID and fetch the product for it. So what we can write here is basically order item IDs wrap will be async ID, and we'll iterate over each ID. And oh, maybe it would be actually better to pass here not order item IDs, but rather product IDs, right? Because this is also something we can already get from the entire team. So let's change it to product IDs. All right. And now we want to basically this part. So we want to get each product, so each find one product. Actually, maybe we just need to return it. Yeah. So we want to just straight query, wait for database to return the specific product, and we will write it products. Okay. And right now we will just return products. And this we can remove. I know that I have here get attachments, but right now we'll just have a products here. We'll do traditionally the console log to list the products. All right. So we'll call this function only if something is paid. Get attachments. And here we want to pass all the IDs, all the product IDs that somebody ordered. So of course we need to get it from here. So it would be entirety, and we need to iterate over the order items. Actually, do up item, and we want to return each ID, each product, right? So it would be product IDs. And all right, I know this code is not perfect, but I think you understand what I just wrote here. So we have product IDs because we are getting them from order items. We are saving them under this variable. Then we are passing the product IDs variable to get attachments. And this function here will just query each product that somebody ordered, and it will return it to the users. So let's see if this works. Finger crossed. Oh, it doesn't. So order 7. Okay. So I did something wrong with. So this is curly brace here. And yeah. So why it doesn't work? Syntax looks okay. I definitely need to configure prettier next time, or some slint or whatever. Don't want to waste time on that now. And let's call it again. Item is not defined. Oh yeah, of course. So we want to find it by ID. Yeah. So we are passing here product IDs. Then we are iterating by products. Okay. Yeah, I think we need to wrap it inside the promise, right? Because without promise, I think it will not work. So let's go to get attachments. Will it work that way? Let's see. Okay, let's clear. No. Okay, because server was not running again. Okay, so we have to promise it all. And no. So we only need to wrap this promise all and here. Okay, and here we need to await this. Server has to restart, and let's see if we get all the products. Then okay, and here you can see that we have an attachment. We have product that we ordered. So we can see the ID of the product. We have description. We have short description, price, title, created by, okay. And then we have also attachment. And here we have the type of the attachment, the size, and the URL. So of course, this URL is not secured, right? Because anybody who knows this URL then can access the URL, right? So this is not 100 production ready, but anyway, we will return this URL to the payload, and then somebody can access this specific attachment and just download it. And in future, in the next live session, I will show you how we can customize this endpoint and just secure it that only logged in user who bought the product can actually use the URL, because we don't want people to buy the ebooks and just provide the URLs to some other people. We also don't want hackers to scan our endpoints and find out that, oh, there's some PDF and we can download it. So this is something we have to secure. However, for now, it should be enough. I will just iterate over these products. So it will be, again, map, and it will be product, and we want to return product attachment, right? It's attachment, and we want to return URL. So get attachments URLs, that would be the name of our function. We don't need this console log anymore. And here we have this function, and we can call it here in our endpoint. So we will return the, no. So it will be URLs, and we can return this array here. So let's save the code and let's see how it works. Of course, guys, if you have some questions to what I'm doing here, let me know if it's interesting to you, if that makes sense or not. But in the meantime, I will see what we have. So we have a specific endpoint which allows us to get details of the orders that we made as a logged in user. I will click send. And here you can see that we have the URL. And we only have this URL when we have the status paid. And if the React application or Angular application or whatever frontend we add, use it, let's do it, and provide the URL here, you can see that we are exposing the URL to the ebook that somebody bought at our Strapi API. So, all right, guys, I will just summarize what we did today. and I will be closing this session. So if you have some questions, it's a final call. So we have endpoints for orders. And first endpoint that we did was endpoint to get all the orders for currently logged in user. So we had to customize a controller for the order that the find function, so it's basically this endpoint inside the Postman, it's returning all orders for currently logged in user. Then second endpoint that we did was actually the endpoint I did yesterday was the endpoint for creating a new order. So currently logged in user can create order and pass the arguments like product ID and quantity, and then we are creating a new order inside the system for the user with specific product that he ordered. And once somebody orders, then it's also possible for the user to update the payment method and payment transaction. Of course, we can add here more parameters, more arguments. We can take information about shipping. We can take a billing address. We can take a VAT number. So we can take many arguments here. Today, I just show you how to update the payment method and payment method transaction. And then, of course, we are updating only order that that belongs to currently logged in user. And also remember to use always sanitize entity, which is a function which makes sure that you are not returning to the front end any attributes that are private. And then the last step we did was an endpoint for fetching information about specific order. And here we customize this endpoint in a very simple way that if the entity status is paid, then we are fetching the attachment URLs and we are exposing them to the user. So user can, for instance, download all the orders that he or she paid for. And in the next live coding session, I will show you how programmatically we can update the status of paid, because right now we did this manually in the administration panel, but in the next live coding session, I want to show you how we can do it automatically, that if the user provides us the payment method transaction, then we are actually validating if this payment transaction was actually issued by this user, if it contained a proper amount of money, proper currency, and then the system will mark the payment as paid. So finally, user can download his ebook. So that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something. If this live coding session was fun for you, feel free to leave the comment or just hit the like button under this video. Thank you very much, and I wish you a great day or great evening, depending on when you are watching this. So thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.